Samia Suluhu Hassan has taken the oath of office as the new president of Tanzania. She takes over just days after the death of President John Magufuli and is the country's first female leader. Hassan will serve out the remainder of Magufuli's term, which ends in 2025. For more on this, Aanu Adeoye, news editor of The Continent, joins me now. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. So she has a difficult role. Tanzania's constitution states that the deputy president takes over and serves the remainder of a president's term in the event of their death. And it's only been a day since her inauguration, but how has she been received so far?
Thank you for having me. President Samia Suluhu was sworn in yesterday morning in Dar es Salaam, which is the commercial capital of Tanzania. I mean, she is the first female president of Tanzania. The first female president of any East African country. So she is a historic choice as president because, she rose to become president after the death of President Magufuli. So she's 61 years old, and the country has a lot of challenges in front of it. So she has to get on the ground running.
She's been described as a soft-spoken consensus builder and someone who listens to counsel. This in stark contrast to the late President Magufuli, who was described as populist and nicknamed Bulldozer for his stance on bulldozing over political contestation. Are we likely to see any changes in directional policy from Hassan, especially with regard to the handling of the COVID-19 pandemic?
She's only been president for 24 hours, right? So we have to wait to see how she tackles the COVID-19 pandemic, because this is the most fundamental challenge facing Tanzania right now. As you said, former President Magufuli took COVID denialism to an extreme. The last time Tanzania released official report was April of last year. They say they have 509 cases, but it's been almost a year since they released new cases. So we have to wait and see how she changes direction on that front. But I know that members of the international community are worried about Tanzania's performance with how they've dealt with COVID, right? So I know the WHO Africa head, Dr. Moeti, has said they are standing by and they are waiting to help Tanzania deal with COVID-19. So we just have to wait and see how she's going to change course to undo the pandemic.
So as you said there, she is the first female president in Tanzania and in effect of any East African country. But is Tanzania progressive enough to welcome female leadership and to thrive under it?
There's a reason why in 2021 we're still talking about her being the first female president in 2021 in any East African country. She's the only. This is an Africa-wide problem. In fact, it's a global problem. So I don't think it's a localized Tanzania problem, right? She is the only executive office holder in Africa who is a woman. The president of Ethiopia is a woman, but it's a largely ceremonial role. All the power in Ethiopia belongs to the Prime Minister, Abiy Ahmed. So it's a global problem that we don't have enough women in leadership positions. She was also the first vice president of Tanzania when President Magufuli selected her in 2015 to be his running mate. So we've not seen enough progressiveness, but I don't think it's a localized Tanzania problem. I think it's a global problem that has to be dealt with.
And has she had support from her cabinet members?
So the interesting thing about Mama Samia, as she's affectionately known in Tanzania, is that despite being in politics since 2000, this is her first executive position. She's been a cabinet member on various occasions, and she began her career as a member of parliament in the Zanzibar House of Representatives. But this is her first executive position. And interestingly, unlike the two presidents before her, President Magufuli and President Jakaya Kikwete, she doesn't seem to have her own political base, which could turn into a pro or a con, depending on how things turn for her in the next few weeks and next few months. Because since she doesn't have a base, people would either have to warm to her or decide that they want to go their separate ways. And interestingly, she has basically the 5 years of President Magufuli to run. So we'll just have to watch this space and see how it plays out for her. But the signs so far are encouraging, because before she was sworn in, opposition parties in Tanzania were worried that maybe she was going to be sidelined against the constitution's will. But we saw that she was sworn in as quickly as they could manage to do it. So some interesting signs about how things will shape up for her going forward.
And of course, a vice president still has to be elected. That could be an opportunity for her to have a strong ally in political leadership. Thank you very much for your insights. That was news editor of The Continent, Aanu Adeoye.